wrapped in leather. We'll talk with a pastor who reaches bikers for Jesus.
One of the most wonderful messages of the Bible is how Jesus was accepting of anyone and everyone wherever he went. It didn't matter whether they were individuals who loved to go into bars and drink or prostitutes. Jesus loved everyone everywhere. And there's one pastor who has a special passion for individuals who ride motorcycles, who sometimes frighten these motorcycle riders, often frighten us. They're sometimes covered with tattoos and seem very fierce. But this pastor has a passion to share Jesus Christ with individuals from this background. Now, to share this report, our Hope Channel Scott Stewart interviewed Pastor Tom Hughes with this wonderful story of reaching people who sometimes are a little bit frightening to the rest of us.
Well, I started riding motorcycles when I was 16 years old, and I've been riding them for over 40 years now. And I love motorcycles. I realize for a lot of people they're scary and dangerous, which is why I like them. And so I've always been a biker, but about 15 years ago, the Lord really impressed me to start using motorcycle emphasis in my ministry to try to reach some of the men that I was meeting. When I go visit people as a pastor, a lot of times the husbands who weren't Adventists wouldn't want anything to do with me. You know, they'd avoid me like the plague.
So the wife is Christian.
Yes,
she's kind of leading the spiritual life in the house.
Yes.
And she says, the pastor's coming over.
Right.
And he says, what time? I want to leave.
And they're gone.
And then down the road is the sound of a Harley.
Yes.
And it catches their attention.
And they hear the Harley pull up, and they're like, who's that? As a matter of fact, there was this one lady who I was kind of encouraging to come to church. And she invited me to come and visit her and her husband. And when I rolled up on my Harley Davidson, the husband says to the wife, that sounds like a Harley in our driveway. Well, he rides a Honda Goldwing.
Okay.
So he's like, who's that coming up our driveway? She says, oh, that's the pastor. He said, what kind of pastor rides a Harley? She said, my kind of pastor. And his name's Joey. His wife's name was Johnny. And I pulled up, and you know, he came out, looked at my bike, and he looked at the patch on my back, and he said, you're a Christian motorcyclist? You're a Christian biker? I didn't even know there was such a thing. And I said, absolutely. And so Joey and I became friends, and I began to give them Bible studies, and Joey became a Christian and gave his heart to Christ, and he's now in the church that I pastored. He's still there.
Okay.
And he actually became president of the local Christian Motorcycle Association.
Now, Christian Motorcycle
which I founded in West Virginia.
All right, good. So there's legacy here. That's really great. The Christian Motorcycle Association, there's several of them, and they attend the big events.
Yes.
Sturgis, Bike Week, and Daytona, and others like this. And what happens, for example, you go to Bike Week in Daytona. What do you do there?
Well, different Christian motorcyclists do different things. There's a lot of different groups that are Christian. I believe CMA, the Christian Motorcyclist Association, the one I'm a member of, is the largest, but there are many. Bikers for Christ are there.
Okay. And what do you do?
They serve.
Oh, you serve. Okay.
They serve others. Our motto is one heart at a time.
All right.
We're here if you need us. We're here to help you. We're here to serve you.
And what kinds of tools do you use?
To get a patch, a back patch for Christian Motorcycle Association, you have to take a service ministry course, and you have to be trained in service ministry. My particular patch is in music. I go to these big bike rallies like Sturgis, camp out in the middle of 10,000 bikers, my wife and I in a little tent in the middle of all these guys, and we witness to them at the campfire. I'll play my guitar, and I'll play some music that they like, something to kind of get their attention, and then the last song I'll do is Amazing Grace, and it's amazing. They'll say, that was my grandmother's favorite hymn, and next thing you know, we're talking about God.
You're planting seeds.
Planting seeds.
Now, one of the seeds that you're using for your planting is a book called Steps to Christ.
Yes. The Steps to Jesus edition is called The Ride of Your Life, and we produced this book to give to motorcyclists, and it has my Harley on the front, and I wrote the back cover of it. And we just take Ellen White and present it to bikers in a way that they might be interested in reading it. And we've had tremendous results with this. I did an evangelistic series, and one of the meetings was about my motorcycle ministry. And I gave the book out in the meetings, and after doing the meetings, I got a phone call from a lady who said, "I read your little book today, and I gave my heart to Christ." Amen. And I've had a lot of those contacts where people just read the book, they give their heart to Jesus. When I was in Daytona, I was witnessing on the street to a guy, and he just came up to me on the street, and he had tattoos. He had a vest like this, but no shirt on. And he had tattoos everywhere, wow, all over his body. Had his ears pierced, his nose pierced, his lip, just piercings everywhere. And I started talking to him about God. I said, "Hey, have you ever thought about giving your heart to Jesus?" And he said, "No." He says, "He wouldn't want anything to do with me. Look at all this ink and look at these piercings. He wouldn't want anything to do with me." And I said, "Piercings saved my life." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Jesus was pierced in 7 places. He knows all about being pierced. He was pierced on the cross for you. He died for you. And he doesn't care about all that ink. That doesn't matter to him. He loves you just the way you are. You don't have to change a thing about yourself." "Are you serious?" he said. "Jesus would accept me with all this?" I said, "Of course he would. He died on the cross for you. He loves you. When he comes again, you're going to get a new body anyway. So you don't need to worry about all that."
And how did he respond?
He said, "Do you really think he would accept me?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Would you like me to pray with you? Would you like to give your heart to God right now?" He started crying. He said, "Yes, I would." So me and this big, strong, muscle-bound guy, we're holding hands right in the middle of Daytona with motorcycles roaring all around us. And that man prayed the sinner's prayer, repeated every word after me, tears rolling down his face, and he gave his heart to Jesus Christ. And you know, that's what I'm all about, is leading these people to Jesus.
If you want to support Tom and his ministry and get behind this ride of your life, this version of Steps to Christ, you can contact the Review and Herald Publishing Company. We'll have their number on the screen here. And also, Tom's got his own personal ministry. And if you'd like to get in touch with Tom, it's BibleBiker.com. BibleBiker.com. You can learn more about Tom, his ministry, helping with the Steps to Christ project. He's also a musician. He's got some CDs that you can check out there as well. And so we want to encourage you to follow up on all these different leads and get into ministry for these people that ride motorcycles. Right. Tom, thanks for joining us. We'll be right back with more on World of Hope.
Take the ride of your life with Jesus. Find the freedom that comes in obeying His commands. Discover the strength that only He can provide along life's rocky roads. Call us now for this free book, adapted from Ellen White's well-known classic, Steps to Christ. What are you waiting for? Take the ride of your life with Jesus. Use the contact information on your screen to receive your free copy of The Ride of Your Life.